Fentanyl is a very powerful synthetic opioid, which is made in scientific laboratories using the same chemical structure as opioids. As described in the video, fentanyl is up to 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine, which is a strong pain-relieving medication, and it is even said to be stronger than heroin. It is usually prescribed by doctors after a surgery or an injury for those experiencing severe or chronic pain. However, some may become dependent on it afterwards. In the picture, there's 30 milligrams of heroin and only 3 milligrams of fentanyl shown, but as stated in one of the articles, those 3 milligrams is enough to kill an average adult, which shows how dangerous this drug can be. Some of the main issues relating to fentanyl is that it works by binding to the body's opioid receptors, which are found in areas of the brain that control pain and emotions, thus causing the brain to adapt to the drug, diminishing its sensitivity and making it hard to feel pleasure from anything other than the drug. It is also highly addictive and easy to become dependent on it without realizing it. And since it is easily accessible with prescriptions, it has now been known as one of the most common drug overdose death cases. Another issue is that it is starting to be cut into other drugs such as heroin and cocaine, making the risk for overdose that much higher. It is sold as a prescription and pill form by doctors in low dosages so that people won't become addicted. But unfortunately, it still happens. It is also sold in the streets as a powder form and usually cut into other drugs. Some of the behavioral effects of fentanyl are extreme happiness, depression, anxiety, paranoia and hallucinations, drowsiness and fatigue, and it even interferes with one's breathing. On the other hand, the long-term effects of fentanyl use has been linked to having severe effects on the brain, such as confusion, unconsciousness, a cognitive decline, severe structural damage, changing the physical structure of the brain, and deterioration of brain matter. Thus, some coping strategies that people can use to help limit and hopefully stop their use of fentanyl so that it doesn't lead to a long-term addiction are joining prescription monitoring programs, treatment and rehab centers, and spending more time with loved ones so that they are distracted and limited to the exposure of opioids. Overall, the reason why I chose this drug specifically to do my research on was because it felt personal. I wanted to know more about it and how it affects a person's body and personality. I mentioned it in a discussion post, but I have a friend who is addicted to opioids, and unfortunately, his addiction led to a fentanyl overdose last week. Luckily, he was rushed to the hospital on time and was saved, but that is why I felt a personal connection to do more research on it. And here's my reference page with the video linked. Thank you for listening.